at the University of Southern California, Suzanne DeWark Peck School of Social Work, and I am also a proud social worker. When I first joined the social work profession, I think what really attracted me to the work was the fact that I could spend time with community and learning exactly what it is that they needed. And I actually spent a whole summer knocking door to door in a small community, talking to community residents about what it is exactly that is missing from keeping them being happy, from keeping them being healthy, and then being able to take that information and translate it into actionable policy response. And so when I think about why aspiring social workers should adopt an equity lens, it's really about removing those barriers. And I've always viewed equity as a two-part process, or at least two parts. So thinking of it as both a process and also thinking of it as an outcome. So people have exactly what they need to be healthy, to be successful, to thrive in their communities, but also the work of removing the barriers to do that. I think that is essential to the DNA of a social worker. In many cases, we find ourselves responding to some of the worst situations, and we find ourselves often in crisis mode. And when you're in that type of response, you have to think about what is the end goal and how am I going to get there. I spent quite a bit of time in child welfare. That was every day, thinking about why is it that this community or this particular group of people continue to experience the things that they are, and then working our way upstream to make sure that this does not become a perpetual issue and that we can actually remove and eradicate inequities. I also consider myself to be more of a social innovator, so I'm starting to think more about how can we transform the way different groups interact and different systems interact with each other to ensure that we produce prosperity and make sure that individuals have exactly what it is that they need to be successful. And then creating ownership. So it's not just a matter of me as a social worker entering into a space and saying this is exactly what you need to be happy. No, that can't work. It's really about sitting down, having authentic relationships with community members, and also identifying what steps can we take together to make sure that you have what you need. Any instance where you're talking about community engagement, we really should be thinking about working with community, and I think prepositions really matter here. We're not working for community, we're not working on behalf of community. Everything that we should be doing should be with. And so when we adopt that equity lens, we're thinking about the long-term impacts, how do we make these things sustainable, and also how do we generate community ownership, because without buy-in, anything that we're trying to produce is not going to last very long. And so thank you so much, Brandon, for inviting me to participate in the Future Black Voices and the Black Mental Wellness Lounge. The work that you're doing is so important, and I hope that as people are listening to this, they're really considering what role do I play in either disrupting or exacerbating inequities.